At the moment, I realize that sometimes you need someone else to tell the story to you for you to understand. And sometimes you need to hear a message twice or maybe three times. And that's okay. Because if I tell you story A at 7 years old, you might think, oh, that's great. Thank you for teaching me. And then I tell you story A at 17 years old, and you say, aha, now I get it. You see the difference? There's a difference between thinking you understand something and actually understanding it. And that same base knowledge will apply to whether you hear the story from person A or person B. You have amazing motivational speakers. You have amazing entrepreneurs. You have amazing everyday people doing extraordinary things. But what differentiates them all is the way they look at things, the way they approach things, the way they handle stuff that life had thrown their ways, and also because of their mindset. To give you an example, growing up, I was horrible to live with. Why? Because I questioned everything. If Johnny over here breaks something and his mom says, don't do it, the kid might stop. If you tell Rebecca, don't do it, well, why not? Well, it breaks stuff. Well, okay, let's buy a new one then. I have a really weird way of looking at things sometimes. And as a kid, that always, that was very hard for me as a kid because I was the odd one out. I didn't take anything that was, thrown at me for granted. Even when I became religious, I had so many questions. And I said, well, the Bible says this and that. And why does it say that? Why isn't it this and that? And say, well, it's like that because it's there in the book. Yeah, but I don't know who wrote it. I don't know how many times it has been changed. I don't know if it's applicable. I don't know if it's someone's opinion on an event that's happened or if it's reality. Because if you sit in a circle with 20 people and the first person tells the story to the left person and we go round that circle, then the last person will hear a different story than the one that is shared the first time. So even if I can completely solve your problem and you find someone that has the exact same problem that you had, and you think, oh, I can help this person out because Rebecca told me to do this and this helped. Well, my advice might be great for you, but it might not work for someone else. Or it might not work because that person might think you're not credible enough to give expert advice on the problem that they're trying to solve. And I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I overcame many things. And I think the most important thing is that I am an everyday girl. I'm not the one that founded 20 businesses and is high up there in the multi-million-dollar scene, in the billionaire scene. I'm not up there being famous. I'm not Kim Kardashian. I'm not Paris Hilton. I'm not going to teach you about fame. And I'm not Warren Buffett. I'm not Elon Musk. I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. But I am experienced in the field of life. Life has thrown at me so many struggles, more than I can reckon at this point. I sometimes forget even the things that I went through. It's because someone else brought an event up that was happening in their lives, and then I automatically rekindle something in my mind and think, hey, wait, I lived through that already. but I forgot all about it. And this is what makes me a life coach, because a problem that might be a big problem in the point that you're now at might be something that I dealt with long time ago. I don't even see it as a problem anymore. I see it as a life lesson. I overcame an eating disorder. I overcame anxiety. I had terrible anxiety. I was scared to talk to people. I was scared when I was, even in my mind, when I thought someone was looking at me, I wanted to fall through a black hole in the ground and not be there anymore. This is how insecure I was. To give you another example, when I show up late somewhere, I know that the entire room is going to look at me. At first, I was so afraid of that happening that I'd be late somewhere as an arrival, I would just call in sick. And sometimes I was even too afraid to do that. I was even too afraid to call in and say, hey, I'm not coming today. I was afraid of that too, because then I have to explain and, oh, there's a whole responsibility. Why you're late? Well, I don't dare to show up in class late because everyone will look at me. Well, how funny is that? That's sad, but it's funny now. It's funny now. If I shared that story with someone else around me, they might have done something for me. And I'm also here to inspire people that whatever you have been going through, whatever, on a scale of 1 to 10, you might have gone through a 20. But look at me as the girl, that everyday girl that can be any one of you, that is still up there trying, never losing any enthusiasm, never losing any ambition, never losing the drive, never gave up on trying to gain more discipline, even after trying 100 diets and so many things that bugged me on the way of losing weight. I still held on to that one goal, that I become a normal sized girl again. And it worked. And it might work. That might be very easy for you to handle, but it's not easy for me. And I love it that when I hear people fessing up about their insecurities or disabilities or things that the public might assume you're very ashamed of, but once you do that, it exudes power. It's so powerful, that message. That message is clear, that a message that's stating, I went through hell and I'm so ashamed of it, but this is life. Everyone has something that they're insecure about. Everyone has something that they're ashamed about. And you're walking with this secret, this burning thing that is in your heart, that is in your entire way of communicating. It shows. When I became religious and I had to confess to God all the things that I did wrong and take responsibility for my actions, that was already a step too high. Can you imagine me being by myself in my own home, nobody seeing me, nobody hearing me except God, of course, and who else is listening in the unseen world? But I was afraid to tell God, while already knowing God knows everything. God already knows everything you did. God already knows every little thought, every craving, he knows it. He knows how you deal with things. And I needed to be completely honest and fess up to the one in heaven, the Creator. And after I did that, every time telling something that I was afraid of or ashamed of became a bit easier, because if I can speak to God, the one that is allowed to judge me, that can really put you in places you don't want to be. If I can do that, why would I be afraid to talk to a person? Why would I be afraid for someone else's opinion about me? Why would I be afraid? Who cares? I'm not going where you are. I don't want to be going where you are. I don't want to live your life. I don't want to copy your style. So in this case, your opinion is quite irrelevant. If the one teaching me thinks low of me and say, hey, you know what? You're trying and all, and it's probably fun for some people, but you're doing this the wrong way, because I had the experience, I have the knowledge, and this is how it's be done, and you're teaching people to do this and that, and that's just wrong. Well, that still won't hurt me, but it will make me bow down, basically, and think, hey, let's take a step back and just sit down and review whatever it is that teacher told me, and see how that applies to my truth. Because sometimes what I share isn't necessarily the truth. You have to be nice to people as well sometimes. So if someone is getting the wrong message and then signaling to you that you're doing things wrong, well, that's a big note to you to make sure your style of communicating is not clear. If you're misunderstood a lot, that means that you don't have a true connection with your inner self. Because if you do, then people will get you, because there is something magical about being raw and authentic. It really is. And to be fair, if you're not, it shows. When I made YouTube videos, I tried to be perfect. I set up green screen, the perfect lighting, tons of makeup. If I could use a filter on it, even better. I created the script. I tried to read from a teleprompter like I was this talk show host or whatever. And I thought to myself, oh, I'm really good at this. No, I am not. If I was, I would have hit viral content a long time ago. The reason why it didn't really took off, but it didn't do bad as well, because I could get people in because it looked professional. So they assumed I was credible. They assumed that this is the video for them. But then they just slack off because it's not interesting when you're fabricating something. Unless it's a fairy tale, it's not interesting. People don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear beautiful stories about your life that aren't true. And you can make it as interesting as you can, but it will only decline the effect, the positive effect that people will feel when they watch your video. You can say something really small, but when it comes right out of your heart, straight from the heart, from person to person, not like I'm speaking to a camera, but actually like I'm talking to you like you're in a room with me, that builds connection. And connections build community. And once you have a community that loves you for exactly who you are, that's the best formula. Because you don't have to act. You don't have to pretend. You can be anywhere, at every time, every day, every place, and people will recognize the one that they see in the video. Not the one that's fancy edited. I mean, like, oh, I saw Rebecca Zohra, and well, she was grocery shopping, and she's way fatter, and she doesn't even wear makeup, and her hair looks awful, and she's smelling, and she's smelly. Or, just to give you an example, that would hurt my personal brand. But when I would have been a YouTuber that is smelly, fat, and, just not really taken care of, and then they would meet me, then they'd be like, hey, that's that girl, oh my God. That's that girl that I've been following. So it doesn't really matter how big you make yourself as long as it's you. I can talk louder, I can talk more, but if I show up flawless in a video, I better be able to show up flawless every single day of my life wherever I go. And if that's not something I am willing to do, then what am I trying to sell here? What is it that I want people to feel? Do I want them to feel insecure? Do I want them to feel insecure because I look perfect and they don't? Or do I want people to feel like, hey, she just looks like she had a sleepover with me and we just woke up and have breakfast? That's way more comfortable. That makes people comfortable. And I don't really think people will remember you as much as you want to. Some people want to be remembered. Some people really like to be famous. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to be remembered as, that's Rebecca Zohra, that girl from YouTube. No, I want people that listen to me or meet me remember the feeling that I gave them. And that must be a feeling of self-empowerment, loving yourself, caring for yourself, allowing yourself to grow, to enjoy your journey from wherever it is that you're starting all the way to the top where you want to end. I want you to be confident and happy and excited about going on that journey. That is the message that I want to convey. I don't want to sell a perfect dream. There is no such thing as a perfect dream. Even though I say I'm living my dream right now, it's because I know I'm in the process of becoming something that I've always wanted to become. And that already makes me exciting because I know that every day I wake up is a step closer to where I want to be at. So life gets easier by the day. And this is what I want. A lot of people overcomplicate life. And I did it so many times. I was a perfectionist. I was controlling. I was, barely OCD maybe, autistic maybe. I was so obsessed with perfection that it depressed me. It burned me out. It made me hate people around me. It made me hate myself. I couldn't even watch myself. I entered 2 or maybe 3 TV shows, I don't even know. And I was coming in there arrogantly thinking, oh, once I've been shown on TV, I'm gonna make it. That was the arrogance for knowing that I had skills, but never ever shown them. I only fabricated a story that made me look appealing to the public, or actually something that not necessarily made me appealing. It did quite the opposite, but I thought that a certain personality would appeal to the public and that when they see it, I get bookings or get asked for reality shows. If I get a call now and people say, can I have a reality show with you? Absolutely not. No way. I'm doing a reality show. That's not reality. This, what I'm doing right now, having a one-on-one, that is reality. And this is the first time that that there's a thought popping up in my mind and my gut telling me like, hey, start talking, start practicing, because this is what you want to do and you have to start somewhere. So I'm grabbing my field recorder. I'm sitting on my sofa, talking to my window, looking around me, but being thoughtful of every word that it is that I'm saying, as if I was talking to an entire audience of people. So this is not a script. And you will probably hear this in the tone of my voice and the way I speak or whatever, that this is real and this is authentic. This isn't fabricated. I probably made 100 grammar mistakes because I'm not American. Okay, I'm Dutch. I'm just trying to do the right thing, and I don't care if I make mistakes because mistakes makes you human. And this is why a process of getting to your goals is so incredibly valuable, because you make mistakes And mistakes aren't something to be ashamed of. Mistakes are something to be proud of, because if you're good at something in the beginning, you don't learn anything new. I used to try lots of hobbies, and if I'm not excelling in it in the first couple of times, I quit. Why? Because it doesn't boost my ego. I want people, I used to want people around me thinking like, oh, she's great, she's amazing. Well, everybody loves to hear that, right? If you're feeling insecure, that's all you want to hear. That people say, yeah, wow, you did such a good job, or wow, you're amazing at this. Oh, you're so talented. So that fed my insecurity in a positive way. So this is why I kept quitting things that weren't working out for me immediately. And I always strive to be the best, but sometimes I was faking to be the best. I probably wasn't really good at some things, and I just, this is so weird to even fess up. I didn't even fess this up to myself, but now that I talk about this, sometimes I pretend I'm good at something, or I had to study the subject really hard to become a master at it, while pretending that, oh, I only look at it for 30 minutes last week. Yeah, it's not really my thing, but hey, I'm good at it, so why not roll with it? And why did I do that? It's horrible. It's such a terrible personality flaw. If this is what you're going for, to make other people think that they suck because you excel at everything naturally without even trying. But because I felt really sad, insecure, unloved, unseen, unheard, I tried to compensate it by exceeding in other fields that other people don't really cared about. So I could win in that because there wasn't really enough competition. The message, what I'm trying to convey here is, I don't go out and try to make other people be jealous of you. Because trust me, it will bite you in the ass. It will. You're not making any friends. And the ones that do are in there to gain something from you. They don't like you. Nobody likes you. That's even the worst part. First, you're not liking yourself, and then you're trying to become something that to be liked, only to end up being less liked than before. So it took years of trying and reliving that experience of, hey, trying to be the best at everything isn't getting me anywhere. Because life isn't about becoming the best. Life is about trying. Life is about doing things together, helping each other. Helping each other shouldn't be something that would always have to come at a price. Sometimes you help people because you see someone struggling and you think, hey, let me help that person. Why? Because you deserve it. Because you're a likable person. Because I just want you to succeed. And you know what? If you really look at people close enough, everyone has something in them that wants to do good. Everyone. Every single one wants to succeed. And they're not all jealous. I think they're more afraid than a lot of the times that they show it. But every little person has it, is worthy of getting help, of someone lending out a hand and say, hey, grab my hand. I'll take you along on this journey. I'll show you the ropes. Come on. If we all just do that for one person, if the entire world does that for just one person, can you imagine how that would be like? How good and wonderful and just being as good vibes, everything. It would be a utopia almost. If everyone is out there to help just one person in their life, everyone is helped. That's all it takes. Helping just one person. And I hope to reach as many people as I can reach, because there are so many people out there that don't get offered help. that don't get to know that CEO that offers them a great position, or that knows somebody that bullies them. And those people need extra confidence, need extra reassurance that they're okay the way they are, and that they shouldn't change their personalities or the things that they like, or the people that they hang out with, or the clothes that they wear. They shouldn't change it for anyone but themselves. And this is what I'm here to do. I want to teach you how to be confident, how to love yourself, how to go through struggles and grow out stronger, and not having them beat you off the road towards your goal. I want you to succeed. I want you to be proud of yourself, proud, not arrogant. I want you to be more loving towards the people around you. Like I said, help one other person. If everyone does that, the whole world is saved. Take small steps, really small steps. And even if the small step is too much for you, keep trying for that tiny little step, because one day you will succeed. Thank you for listening. If you want a one-on-one call with me, you want to meet me in person, have a Zoom call and let me coach you one-on-one in private sessions, please visit calendly.com/course on confidence and book your one-on-one call with me right now. Your future starts today. Thank you for listening.